do have coming in. Confirmed reports, I repeat, confirmed reports of nuclear detonation.
Slow down on your way to future town. I say as we pass by.
Now in today's countdown, we are going to be taking a look at 5 of the most beautiful, immersive, and downright interesting looking handguns currently available for Fallout 4. So whether you are in the market for a brand new sidearm, are looking to play with some interesting and unique looking guns, or just want to make sure you are prepared for the next local school shooting, then without further ado, I present to you 5 of the best handgun mods currently available on the Fallout 4 Nexus. At number 5 we have the Makarov PM by Alex Scorpion. Now the Makarov PM adds in a brand new custom-made handgun into the Commonwealth, coming packed with its very own incredibly looking custom-made textures, meshes, animations, and even a few custom-made sounds, as well as the weapon itself has been added to the leveled list and should start spawning through all out the wasteland on various raiders, gunners, and even a few merchants. Now I've seen my fair share of Fallout 4 weapon mods, and for the most part they do look absolutely beautiful, but occasionally they won't exactly fit into Fallout 4. Be that because of the overall style chosen by the mod makers, the fact that they look just a little bit too advanced and out of place in Fallout 4's timeline, or even the fact they don't render as well as they should in Fallout 4's engine. However, that is definitely not the case when it comes to this weapon, considering it looks absolutely beautiful within the world of Fallout 4, and even looks like something that might have been a part of the base game itself, especially when taking into account how similar it looks to the Deliverer found in the vanilla game. Now the world is a pretty dangerous place, even outside of the Commonwealth, what with people always trying to take what is rightfully yours. Be that your rights, your guns, or even the fucking internet.
You can access your company's data anywhere, anytime. But if you can get your data, who else can get it? Spies, thieves, criminals, and foreigners.
So having a firearm handy might not be the worst idea, especially a slick, easily concealable, and nifty handgun, and this mod most certainly fits that mold. But if tiny fucking handguns aren't exactly your thing, don't worry, because this mod provides you with an obscene amount of variety when it comes to the customization of this gun, giving you the ability to transform it from a simple handgun into an assassin's silenced pistol, and even a fucking sniper rifle. This is by far one of the tiniest handguns I've ever seen on the Fallout 4 Nexus, and let's be honest, size does actually matter. But every now and again, having something a little bit smaller might not be the worst idea, you know, so it doesn't hurt when you blow some guy's fucking brains out. So head on over to the Fallout 4 Nexus and give this mod a download, because you never know which sneaky Indian is going to be coming for your internet next. Coming up next, at number 4, we have the Rudder Mark V mod by Niero. Now the Rudder Mark V mod is a standalone custom weapon mod, adding in a beautiful looking pistol into the Commonwealth, coming packed with its incredible looking custom-made meshes, high-resolution textures, and a quite in-depth and very unique weapon customization system, allowing you to enhance each and every single inch of this pistol, customize the color of every individual part, attach top and bottom rails for various miscellaneous attachments, and even change the projectile type, be that ballistic, energy, or even elemental. This is by far one of the most versatile pistol mods I have ever seen, allowing you to turn it into nothing short of a fucking rifle. Well, I mean, kinda. Which is just perfect for any situation which might require you to have various similar firearms with minor adjustments. For example, as of late, American high schools, making this the ideal weapon to arm each and every single member of the faculty, be that the science teacher, the art teacher, or even the school librarian. Now the weapon itself can be obtained in one out of 2 ways, be that by crafting it over at the chem station, alongside with the brand new custom ammo type added in by this mod, or by finding it somewhere in the world itself, seeing as how this weapon has been added to the leveled list and will spawn through all out the wasteland on various NPCs, vendors and containers, which would usually contain the .44 revolver. Now some of you guys have been complaining that I showcase way too many weapon mods, which is understandable, especially considering this is the 3rd gun mod this week. But after recent events, I think it is quite obvious that the answer to any problem is more fucking guns. Despite this being an absolutely beautiful looking and incredibly designed pistol, I honestly don't think it fits to Fallout 4 all that well. Mainly because it seems just a bit too advanced for the Commonwealth. The only exception being the Institute variant of this weapon, which seems to fit into Fallout 4 relatively well. So head on over to the Fallout 4 Nexus and grab yourself one of these boys. For self-defense, I mean, because you do not want to see what happens after Mrs. Winters shushes you for the third fucking time. Next up, at number 3, we have the 12.7mm pistol mod by Deadpool. Now the 12.7mm pistol, or the Sig Sauer P127 mod, adds in a brand new custom-made handgun into the world of Fallout 4, coming packed with its very own incredible looking custom-made meshes and even high-resolution textures, coming both in 2K and even 4K. The weapon itself can be found through all out the Commonwealth, seeing as how it has been added to the leveled list and can be found on various raiders, merchants and even gunners between the levels of 15 and 25. This is by far one of my all-time favorite handgun mods available for Fallout 4. Not just because of the incredible looking assets that comprise the weapon, not because of its quite beautiful and outrageous style, although those two factors do influence my opinion of it, mainly because of its undeniable fucking girth. I mean, just look at that thing. Isn't that the thickest fucking gun you've ever seen? In fact, I'd even go as far as calling it extra thin! And when it comes to customization, the mod maker provides you with a decent sum of variety to choose from. Be that augmenting the receiver, increasing the damage, extending the magazine, altering the material it is made out of, or even turning it into a fucking rifle. Combining the elegance and light carry weight of a pistol with the long range and firepower of a fucking sniper rifle, making this the ideal heavy secondary weapon. As I am sure some of you already know, I am a big fan of the Warhammer 40k universe. And while this mod might not have anything to fucking do with it, the gun itself definitely reminds me of a Warhammer 40k bolter. What with the general large size of it, the ominous looking black paint jobs, and even the surprisingly cross looking emblems on the back. In fact, this is probably as close to a bolter as you can get within Fallout 4. Well, I mean, besides like using the Fallout 4 bolter mod. And when it comes to the combat capabilities of this weapon, it is just about as powerful as it is thick. Meaning that when fully upgraded, you should have no problem blowing the ever-loving fucking brains out of anyone that might stand in your way, with the base damage being a mere 25, making it completely balanced. So whether it is because of the immersion, the incredible looking graphics, or even the fact that it loosely looks like something out of the Warhammer 40k universe, head on over to the Fallout 4 Nexus and give this mod a download. And if it finishes installing in the next 30 minutes, it is completely free of charge.
30 minutes next door is free. I like that line extra thick.
Nearing the end here at number 4, we have the Rudder Mark V non-lethal add-on mod, once again by Nero. Now the Rudder Mark V non-lethal add-on mod is a pretty self-explanatory mod, adding in a non-lethal variant of one of the most beautiful looking and recently published Nero weapon mods, requiring both the Rudder Mark V and the Knockout Framework mod in order to function. Seeing as how I have showcased both of these mods in the past, in today's video we will not be going over any of the features or mechanics added in by those two mods. We will, however, be going over each and every single one of the features and functions added in by the add-on mod. Unlike its lethal variant, this weapon has not been added to the leveled list, meaning that the only way to obtain it is to craft it over at the chem station, alongside the brand new ammunition added in by this mod. This mod is just perfect for anyone out there who enjoys playing with the Knockout Framework, but prefers not to get up close and personal with his enemies, but to knock them out from afar. So grab yourself one of these pistols, knock out a local wastelander, and do with them what you please, be that waking them up, kidnapping them, or even finishing them. Wait, I think the animation's bugged. He doesn't seem to be moving. Jesus fucking Christ! Now when it comes to customization, this weapon provides you with just about as much variety as its standalone counterpart. The two key differences being that this weapon also comes packed with an additional modifier slot, allowing you to choose between various ammo types, each of which knocking out your opponents faster than the last. And the second one being that this weapon comes packed with its very own custom-made camos, including some very fitting ones, such as the Diamond Dogs, the Golden Gun, and even a Nerf pistol, which is by far the single most frightening one of the bunch. I mean, let's face it, the Wasteland is full of unsavory and sketchy characters, but there is nothing more menacing out there than a maniac running around with a body bag on his back, tightly gripping a fucking Nerf gun. I mean, you just know that that fucker means business. Despite this being a simple add-on mod, I think the mod maker has done an outstanding job at making it, providing you with just a bit of variety when it comes to choosing the ammo type, as well as various interesting looking, quite fitting camo options, definitely making it stand out even when compared to its lethal counterpart. Now I love murder and mayhem as much as the next guy, but occasionally you will come across a situation which simply cannot be solved by murder, no matter how gruesome. So in the case of an unkillable NPC, a local neighborhood child,
I was just blinded by the balls on that kid.
or even a specific wasteland creature which you might want to preserve for later, the answer is not violence, but a tranquilizer dart, powerful enough to kill a fucking horse. And last but not least, at number 1, we have the Beretta 92FS Sword Cutlass mod by Bloodfree. Now the Beretta 92FS Sword Cutlass mod adds in yet another incredible looking custom-made handgun into the world of Fallout 4, coming packed with its very own incredible looking custom-made meshes, high-resolution custom textures, and so much product placement that at some point it just gets kind of fucking ridiculous. Despite this being a decently powerful mid-game or perhaps even end-game item, it can be obtained from the very beginning of the game, seeing as how it is located just outside of Vault 111 in a footlocker in between two cars. The weapon itself is an incredibly accurate representation of the Beretta 92FS pistol, or perhaps even an exact recreation of the two pistols found within that famous Chinese sitcom, Black Lagoon.
Stop trying to suck your own dicks. You ain't never gonna fucking reach. I've tried.
And as far as the customization is concerned, the mod maker allows you to augment this weapon in terms of stats, be that reducing recoil, improving reload speed, or even increasing the damage. He does not, however, give you the ability to influence the visuals of the weapon, seeing as how this weapon only includes stat-based augmentations opposed to cosmetic ones. This is by far one of the most beautiful and incredible looking handguns I have ever laid my eyes on. In fact, I'd even go as far as calling this the single most detailed weapon mod I've ever had the pleasure of showcasing. Especially when looking at those incredibly high polygon meshes, realistic looking textures, inscriptions on either side of the gun, and even the spookiest of fucking skeletons.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.
So head on over to the Fallout 4 Nexus, give this mod a download, and venture into the wasteland to shoot some fucking kids or something? It's okay though, because they were creepy, incestual shining twins.
What you say? That you only meant well, well.
If for some odd reason you actually enjoyed watching this video and would like to watch more, then subscribe to the channel. As always, my name is Nagi, you've been watching TrollenBros. Until next time guys, I'll see ya!
Strong have extra meat. Take some.